Good evening. Rain. It's been on the forecast for what feels like forever, with one of the wettest winters on record in Wales. March and April have so far seen little let-up, leaving farmers unable to plant crops and put livestock outside. But with agriculture emitting millions of tonnes of greenhouse gases every year, it's a sharp reminder of the role the industry plays in tackling climate change. Well, our Rural Affairs correspondent Hannah Thomas is on a farm for us in the Vale of Glamorgan. Hannah, the picture says it all. Just talk us through how the wet weather has been impacting the industry.
Well, I don't think I need to tell you, John. I just literally need to show you. I've taken my hood off now because finally it has stopped raining. But look at this. I've got wellies on and I need waders probably because the water level is so high. I'm at Grassland farm here in Wenvo tonight, and like farms up and down the country, it is absolutely sodden. In the Vale of Glamorgan alone, they've had 238% more rainfall this year than they had compared to this time last year. The place is absolutely flooded. So let's have a look, shall we, at Wales underwater.
There are plenty of puddles in Pendoilen. Farmer Tom Rees is up to his ankles in water, but should be sowing spring barley in this field. It's too late for that now. He'll have to plant maize, but who knows when.
No sign of it drying up. It won't go in for at least another month, 6 weeks at this rate. It's got to take a long time to dry before we can get on the ground and spread muck and then plough it. I just despaired to know when we will get it in. Since last July, we've had non-stop rain. It's the worst farming year I have ever known since I've been home from college, and I've been home 15 years, and this is the worst I've ever known. It's rain on rain on rain.
But despite that rain, calving started today. This little one was taken to a dryer shed with Mum. Tom's cows were out for fresh feed, but they'll be going straight back to the barn.
Well, this lot are also expectant mums, but they shouldn't be indoors. This will be the first time that Tom has ever done indoor calving. They'd usually be outdoors in the fields at this time of the year, but in 2024, the ground is simply too wet.
This was Easter weekend in Machynlleth. The snow followed the rain, and that's caused issues for sheep farmers during the lambing season. Matthew Isaac has lost 30 lambs to the weather in Ynys Bull, and some, like this one, have developed joint problems because of the wet conditions this spring.
Anything that's a little bit weak and they just, they fall by the wayside then, you're picking up dead lambs in the morning then, so yeah, it's not good. We're at the limit where we keep all the sheep inside. When they're born, they're only like 24, 48 hours old, and then they moved out. There's no way you could keep all the ewes in with all the lambs, The disease burden in here then would be greater than what is outside.
For now, they'll have to stay here, even though Matthew is rapidly running out of room. But as the rain gauge shows, they can't go to grass, while the drops keep falling.
Well, also getting her feet wet tonight is Abby Reader, the Deputy President of the National Farmers Union in Wales. Abby, let's look at the causes of this. Climate change has got to be up there behind this record rainfall. And surely that's why Welsh farmers should be playing their part in tackling climate change.
So absolutely, we're totally committed to making sure we play our part. We've got a commitment in Anna Cymru for net zero by 2040. There are a number of steps we can put in place to do that, but we can't do it on our own. We're going to have help because producing food for the nation is a collective responsibility.
You mentioned help there. Now, next week, the Senedd will be back from recess. We'll have the new First Minister in there. We'll have the new Cabinet Secretary for Rural Affairs. What will you be calling on them to help you with this in this wet weather?
So the new farm support payment is under review. We're re-looking at how we can support farmers to produce food in the future and to look after the environment. And the message we are giving is you need to make sure that this money comes to help us deal with problems like this, because the weather is going to become more and more volatile, and we need to make sure we've got resilient farming businesses.
Talking about resilience, the Welsh Government say they're currently monitoring the impact of this wet weather on farmers in Wales. Remember, they have not got a limitless pot of money here.
I think we totally understand that everybody is really strapped for cash, but we can't have a weakened food supply system. So again, this is about really smart thinking, making sure that the Welsh Government can listen to the solutions that we're offering, because there are plenty of solutions. And again, making sure we've got this agricultural pot, this money is already allocated, put it to the farmers where they can use it most to become more resistant to these weather impacts.
We're talking about climate change, resistance to weather impacts, of course. It all takes a toll, doesn't it, on mental health? I'm sure there's lots of problems out there at the moment. Are you worried about the effect on that?
I'm really concerned. It's getting really desperate out there for farmers. There's some very anxious people that can be very demoralising when you're seeing livestock struggling or when you are getting desperate to meet these planting windows. Some of these planting windows we've already missed. So, really desperate for farmers at the moment.
Abby, thank you very much indeed. Well, as you can see, John, the rain has abated here, but it's of little consolation at the moment.
OK, Hannah Thomas, thank you very much indeed.